to the 2021 East Coast Music Awards, presented by Dairy Farmers of Canada, coming to you from beautiful Sydney, Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. Tonight, we pay tribute to the great artists of Atlantic Canada. Celebrate their...
And welcome back. I'm Sheldon McLeod, and this is Thinking Out Loud, presented to you by the SaltWire Network. And I always enjoy this job because it gets me to, stretch my legs and talk to folks about things that I don't normally get to talk to. And sometimes it's very serious stuff, and sometimes it's very fun, and sometimes it's both serious and fun. I got to say that this is the 35th. Hard to believe, 35th anniversary of the East Coast Music Awards. They've just announced the lineup, what to expect, coming up May 3rd till 7th in Halifax. And it goes without saying that we have a lot of talent in our region, and it deserves to be recognized. But this is more than just a showcase of artistry. It's also an opportunity for networking and career building and personal development. And Andy McLean is the CEO of the East Coast Music Awards, or Music Association. And he joins us today from Halifax. Good day to you, sir.
Good day, sir. Thank you so much for having me on.
35 years. It seems like just a blink of an eye and all that time has passed. How long have you been associated or involved with?
Since 2015.
And what is it about the East Coast Music Awards that makes Andy excited?
Oh, my goodness. Yes. Well, 35 years of history. Before I came out and became an honorable East Coaster, or honorary East Coaster from Ontario, I obviously worked with a lot of East Coast talent and was always blown away with the quality of the performance, the diligence and the dedication of all the artists. So getting to come out here and work with the musicians, that to me was the most exciting thing. I mean, this all goes back to the music. Without the music, we don't have anything really. And so 35 years of the ECMAs, they were created for obviously a reason back in 1989, a reason to bring the Atlantic region together and to start to tell the world. Communication obviously wasn't as good as it is now. And I think there was an isolation aspect of the East Coast and the idea that we needed to get East Coast artists back out there and make people in Toronto more aware of the music scene that was here and the incredible amount of talent. So in many ways, that is the mission statement of the ECMA, to promote and support East Coast talent and develop opportunities. That really hasn't changed. We've just kind of kept doing it and adapted, obviously, as music changes and delivery systems change and technology change. But in the end, it's all about the music and connecting with fans.
And that experience from the stage to the people who are there gathered to experience together. And if you don't mind, just tell me a little bit about your background before arriving here in the Maritimes.
Yeah, well, I came from the UK. I still have a bit of the accent left. From Manchester. I'm a musician first and foremost. Got signed to Sony Records back in the 80s, but in Canada. And has some success and toured extensively, and then went to work on the other side of the business, and then finally founded a festival called North by Northeast in Toronto back in 1995. I was one of the founding directors and did that until I moved out here in 2015. So it's kind of been music and soccer. Those are the two things that I follow, and they tend to lead me where I need to go.
Go Wanderers. So let's talk a bit about the fact that this is more than just a showcase of talent, that there are also networking opportunities and workshops. Tell me what goes into putting those in place and how you decide.
For sure. Yeah, behind the scenes, obviously the glitz and glamour of the award shows and the showcases, but there's a serious amount of business that gets done at ECMA. We have what's called the Export Buyers Program, where we go and we curate and we invite to ECMA over 150 buyers, talent buyers from all around the world. There's 9 different countries represented this year. They come. They watch private showcases of the artist, and out of that situation, many new deals are struck and a lot of new businesses created. So that's what's happening. That's why the artists are gathering, and from that onwards, their career hopefully can develop and they can be further ahead after playing ECMA than they were before. There's about over 1,200 one-on-one business meetings that are being organized right now between artists, buyers, agents, managers, promoters. So that is the music business that's happening, in the background, and the reason why everybody gathers here for these five days in May. What a great title that is.
There it is. And we can go back to the early days of ECMA and, that idea that, Halifax was called the Seattle of the North for a brief period of time, but there were so many great artists that have grown into not just regional successes, but international successes. And what does it feel like to know that this is a starting point for many, but a touchstone for a lot?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I mean, we really missed during the COVID years of 2020, 2021. We were virtual, so there wasn't an opportunity to gather as a community, as an East Coast community. That's what's unique about being here too. There is a real community within Atlantic Canada. So coming together, having the ECMAs as a focal point is something that everybody derives not only kind of business opportunities, but there's a real kind of collaboration and a rejuvenation. It's a difficult choice, to try and make a living from being a professional musician, and you're out there. Musicians still make their money on the road playing and selling merch. So coming together and connecting with their colleagues and getting rejuvenated again and checking in, that is a huge part, I think, of what we provide as an event and as an association. So I'm not sure if that answered your question, but that's where I went.
No, that's fair enough. And when we talk about 2 awards nights, there was a time and a place. It was all at one venue at one moment. So tell us about that evolution.
Yeah, well, we're giving out, I did the numbers, and, over 55 awards are being given out over the 5 days of ECMA. The award show itself on the Thursday is 2 part 1 and part 2. So Thursday, people know that it's going to be here at the Scotiabank Arena. It's going to be a sold out, incredible event. 2 stages, 13 performances, and 15 awards given out. The most live music of any award show that I think of. I'm claiming that. And it's an opportunity to, in terms of aspirational inspiration as well for up-and-coming artists to see. People are questioning award shows in many ways. Our viewership is actually increasing because I think of the nature and the format, and because music is at the heart of what we do. We know what it is that we're doing. And so the award show is a wonderful opportunity to give credit where it's due to the artists, that we can fit into a 2-hour broadcast, which is being broadcast around the world. We're streaming it on ECMA.com and also through our broadcaster Rogers nationally on multiple platforms. So ECMA is back to being a fully national brand again. And so on Sunday, what we do, we give out the other 30 odd extra awards, the industry awards and other music awards that we don't have time for on the Thursday, but it's an amazing opportunity as well. And that's Sunday, kind of over brunch time, a 2-hour award show. There's 4 performances on that too. And together, it's just, like I say, it's just a wonderful way to get together, to collaborate, to share stories, and to give the recognition to those both in the industry and in the artists that they deserve each year.
We talked about touring and how artists are making their money these days, and I saw some suggestion that high ticket prices that we're seeing as a result that streaming has definitely changed the game, that it used to be an opportunity to sell a physical medium and people would have it in their hands, and the production costs and all of that, where now it's kind of hard to get your head around if you're not directly involved in the industry, and it has impacted ticket prices. Is that something that makes sense? Does that ring true to you?
It's the marketplace, isn't it? It's what the marketplace can stand. For us, it's all about giving value. We've tried to keep our ticket prices very reasonable so that we can get as many people to really come in and experience ECMAs. Like I say, there's over 40 different shows that we are going to be producing over the next 5 days. So, streaming is not a particularly viable revenue stream for most of our artists. It's good old-fashioned getting out there and playing, and obviously for 2 years that wasn't available to them. So we're still coming back from that. And I'm so pleased that we're fully in person, this year and the artists will get a chance to really shine. And many of them are back out there touring and playing again. So in the end, I think music has been undervalued for many, many years, like a $10 cover or whatever. It was $10, 10 years ago. So we still try and make it accessible for everybody that can come and appreciate music. We rely on music so much; it's so important to us. I think it's part of who we are. So ticket prices, if they do get too high, I think the market will respond. But for us, we're trying to make it, and we are making it as affordable as possible.
And I did notice that passes, wristbands, tickets are available for folks who want to go to the website. So what are the different entry levels? I'm curious about that.
Oh, everything from the VIP pass, which is the most expensive pass, where you can become a super music mogul for the whole 5 days and have front of the line access. That is the kind of Rolls Royce version, right the way through down to a regular festival pass. If you just want to go to the shows, there's a wristband that you can get called the Weekend Warrior, aptly, so you can club hop until you drop. And then, of course, there will be some cover door cover costs night of the show, but they will be limited. Many of these shows will sell out, but because of the way it's structured with a showcase situation, there'll be a churn through, and people are coming and going all the time. So if you do want to get to a particular show, get there early, and if you just really can't afford it all, there are free shows that we're putting on. We're doing a fan fest, great fan fest here on Argyle Street in Halifax, closing the street down, and we've got artists like Jordan, Kelly Loader, Neon Dreams, and Didi Austin are all going to be playing for free on the Saturday right here on Argyle Street. So that'll be available to everybody.
There's a saying in politics, no one likes to see the sausage made, but in the music industry, the songwriter circle, that's very much that process. And that's always a very popular event. And what can you tell us about this year's?
Oh yeah, no, it's a great event. There are actually two circles. We have two different hosts and two circles that run on the one event. And you're right. I mean, again, the East Coast is renowned for its songwriting. It goes back to that too. We talk about music. We talk about songwriting. That is that kernel, that creative genius, I think, out of which everything develops. So it's a wonderful chance to see the artist sit down in a very stripped down kind of situation. They say a good song, you can play just with one guitar, one keyboard, and it'll still be a hit, So this is a chance where you get to see how the songs are created, and they talk about the inspiration behind it, and it's kind of a window into that process. So very, very excited about that, and that's taking place at the casino, the beautiful room in the Schooner Room there on the Sunday afternoon. A great way to unwind as we're kind of getting towards the back end of 5 days and nights of full-on music.
A little less intense and maybe a little quieter for heavy heads. And I see taking a page from the Junos with the hockey game.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, this is the ECMA Cup. We started back in 2018 actually, and it is a fundraiser for Sound Minds, which is a named grant for Nova Scotia mental health that goes back to the music community. Music community has really been struggling, like everybody, of course, through the pandemic. But we do have a pretty robust wellness program that ECMA is administering. But the hockey game is a fun way to raise funds. It's on a Saturday afternoon, and there's going to be all kinds of celebrity performers and some artists who are performing as well. And we have celebrity coaches. You can come, you can make a donation at the door. And I think Mayor Mike Savage may be dropping the puck as well. So apparently I persuaded him to do that. He may not remember. No, he'll be there. He'll be there. Sure.
He'll be there, absolutely. I guess, Andy, I'd ask, the music is so important to so many for so many reasons. What's your earliest musical memory? Oh, my goodness. What a question. Going back a bit, I suppose, for me in the UK, it's got to be the first single I bought of the Beatles, I suppose. Love Me Do, Love Me Do. Fantastic. I played it incessantly and drove my parents crazy like you would back in the day. So that
I was very, very young at the time. I was really just, just newborn,
an embryo, very much so. It's going to be a great event. ECMAs are coming up in just a few weeks' time, and we'll invite folks to go to the website, ecma.com. All the details are there. And I'll congratulate you in advance, or say in the biz, break all your legs, do whatever it takes. It's going to be a fantastic event. Anything else I didn't touch on, Andy, that you'd like to talk about or mention?
I'm just very excited to be working with the Mi'kmaq Friendship Centre here in Halifax for our opening, the way that we're kicking off ECMA with a blessing with Jewene, which means come with us. And there will be on Grand Parade, people that know Halifax, on Grand Parade, there will be 4 days of Indigenous celebrations. There'll be lit teepees, there'll be sacred fire, and there'll be a drumming circle. And so all of that there during ECMA, I think, is going to be an incredible reminder to all of us. And I think for our international visitors will be a great focus. So we're very, very pleased and very proud and excited to be working on this great initiative.
Well, thanks for taking some time to speak with me about this. He is the CEO of the East Coast Music Association, and Andy McLean. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you very much.